Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Sup, hot stuff. Welcome back to the channel. So, we have officially hit that mid-season portion of Season 2 of Street Fighter 6. That's right. We're all just sitting here, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for them to add Mai to the game. So I thought to myself, you know what? Hey, now's the best time to put out a tier list video, right? Like a mid-season tier list. It's been a long time since I put out a tier list video for Street Fighter 6. I think the last one I made was when Street Fighter 6 launched, right? That was like a year ago. I was going to make one for the end of Season 1, but then Season 2 started immediately after. Bison came out like a week and a half after Akuma. It threw everything out of whack, right? So while we have time, right, while we're waiting for the content, now's the time to strike, you know, while the iron is hot. Do me a favor, guys, before we get into it, leave a like, subscribe if you guys like Capcom stuff, if you guys like Street Fighter. Help your boy out, because I would appreciate it. But without any further ado, let me start by saying a couple things, right? A quick disclaimer. Street Fighter 6 is one of the best balanced fighting games that we've had in a very long time, right? Literally every character on this roster can get work done, right? Like, there's a very, listen, the best characters in the game, they're obviously the best characters, right? But you know what I'm trying to say, right? There's no terrible, awful, bad characters, right? So that being said, we're going to start with the D tier, right? And the D tier, it's the usual suspects, okay? I have 3 characters in the D tier. The first one is E Honda, right? Poor Honda. Poor Honda. And the second character is Jamie, right? And this pains me till this day because I love Jamie. I think he's a very well-designed character, right? I love the concept of Jamie. However, they need to take a look at his drink mechanic, right? Jamie, if he doesn't have at least 2 drinks into him, he's doing less damage than every character on the cast, right? So he needs 3 drinks just to do normal character damage, right? That's unacceptable, you know? Also, there's other characters on this roster that have other X factors, like the drink mechanic, but they don't lose it after they, after the round ends, right? Jamie, he has to work really hard to get all 4 drinks to become an actual character. And then once the round ends, he loses all of that, you know? I feel like once you hit 4 drinks, or, whatever level of drink you have, you should carry that on to the next round, right? Because once Jamie gets 4 drinks, he's good, but he's not even the best character, you know what I mean? Like, once he has 4 drinks in him, he becomes like, I don't know, top of B tier, bottom of A, you know? So, like I keep saying, I love Jamie. He was the character that I played during the betas for Street Fighter 6, you know? So, I just wish Jamie gets some love, you know? And then at the top of D tier, we got the best of the worst characters, and that is Manon, right? And listen, I said she was the best of the worst characters, but that's not even by much. You know, she barely tiptoed past the other 2 boys, you know? Manon, listen, man, I don't even know what they need to do to buff her. It's just, she's got it rough, you know? Anyway, moving on, we're going to C tier, because the longer I look at D tier, the sadder I get, okay? C tier, I have another 3 characters, right? The bottom of C tier is Lily, okay? Lily, I will say, she has risen above D tier. A lot of people that had her a D tier for a long time, you know? Lily, she's not that bad, you know? But she does feel unfinished, and I think that's the worst part about Lily. She needs a little something, right? I don't know what that something is, but, like, she needs a little bit something. Maybe some extra things to use the wind mechanic on. I don't know, right? I'm just spitballing here. I don't play Lily. Also, quick shout out to my boy El Chacote, right? That's my guy. Following Lily, we have Marisa, right? And Marisa, she, next to Bison, she does the most damage in the game, right? So it's really tough, to find the right balance with her, right? Even till this day, she does a crap ton of damage, right? It's just that there's better choices, In a world where Bison is running around, right? Uncontested. Marisa she's just not, you know, she's harder to play than Bison as well, right? That's also why Bison is so high on my tier list. You'll see where I have him in just a second. And then the top of C tier is Dhalsim, right? And Dhalsim, he has a lot in common with Marisa and another character I'm going to talk about, let's see, a couple tiers above this. You guys probably already know who it is, but yeah. But Dhalsim is a character who specializes in one thing, right? He's always been like this, right? Dhalsim is a zoning character. And Dhalsim, just like Marisa and this other third mystery character, it's tough, you know, to accurately administer buffs or nerfs to them, right? Because they're specialty characters, you know? They do one thing really good. So when you start tinkering with that and, you know, adding seasoning to where they don't need it, they kind of lose their vision. They just become like these godlike characters, right? Dhalsim in Street Fighter V, towards the end of the lifespan, he got some wild buffs. He was teleporting around the screen like a Dragon Ball Z character. It was insane, right? But not a lot of people play Dhalsim, right? So you're not going to see, you know, Dhalsim's probably not an issue to you because you probably barely even play Dhalsim. I forget Dhalsim's in the game sometimes, you know? So anyway, that is the C tier. We're moving on to B tier, right? Bottom of B tier, we have Kimberly and Blanka, right? So these are two characters that they're actually kind of similar, believe it or not. Blanka has the Blanka Chan dolls you can set up, and Kimberly has the paint cans, you know? Kimberly, you know what? During the betas, she was a nuisance, but I don't think she's ever been that good. You know? I feel like she deserves, I don't know, dude. When they do like a big like system-wide update for this game, maybe like a Super Street Fighter 5, or I'm sorry, Super Street Fighter 6, excuse me. Maybe she can get some more things to use the paint cans on, or something. I don't know, dude. I'm spitballing here, okay? So after Blanka and Kimberly, we have Terry Bogard, Terry Bowberry, smack dab in the middle of B tier. Dude, when Terry launched, people were complaining nonstop. They said that Terry was the best character in the game. I had people in my comment section telling me that they weren't gonna buy the season pass, right? Or they weren't gonna pay or play this season at all until they nerfed Terry. That Terry was a bigger threat than Bison. Insanity. Insanity! Dude, Terry's like a worse Luke. He's like a worse Luke, right? Like Terry's whole game plan. You know, yeah, it's Terry Bogard, but it's just Terry Bogard in Street Fighter V, you know? So crouching medium kick into drive rush, right? There you go. There's Terry, right? Power wave, right? EX power wave, drive rush in, right? That's all Terry does, right? Terry does a lot of damage, but like, you know, there's other characters that do it better, you know? So I have Terry, you know, middle of B tier, maybe leaning towards the back half of B tier, you know? And then one spot ahead of Terry, I have my dude Luke, right? And I know a lot of people, they're going to be happy that Luke's here, right, in B tier. I kind of miss Luke, dude. Because once they nerfed him, dude, Luke just stopped appearing, right? Like, you hardly see Luke in tournaments anymore. Same thing with JP, you know? I'm not saying that it was better for the, you know, the life of the game to have Luke and JP, you know, in every tournament, but like, you know, that's the main character and the main villain, you know, so I could kind of see, you know, why Capcom wanted them to be strong. But I like Luke. He's one of my favorite Street Fighter characters. He still does okay damage, but like, I think he needs a damage buff, in my humble opinion, right? So above Luke, we have Ryu, right? So I have the three boys together, Ryu, Luke, and Terry. They're all very similar characters. They're all like Shotos, basically, right? And the differences between them, very minimal. That's why they're all clumped together like this. Oh, man. You know what, dude? Screw it. Capcom should buff all three of them. I want to see... That's right, I'm a madman. I want all three of these characters in every final of every tournament. But no, they're in a pretty good spot, right? The three of them smack dab in the middle of the tier list. I think they're okay. And then above Ryu, the last character I have in B tier, or the top of B tier, I have Aki, right? And Aki was When she came out, she was garbage. Everyone was saying that. She was a struggle character to play. But after the buffs, Aki shot, up to A tier. People were saying Aki was one of the best characters in the game. And it seems like that talk has kind of simmered down a little bit, right? I don't know why. I think people just, they figured her out now, right? That like some of this stuff, it's not nearly as good as they thought it was, basically, right? So Aki goes at the top of B tier. Now we're moving on to A, right? And this is where it's going to start getting controversial. I already know it. I'm sorry, guys. The bottom of A tier, I have DJ, right? And DJ is another one of those characters. When Street Fighter 6 dropped initially, DJ was all over the place, right? It was Ken, DJ, JP, and Luke, the game. Those were the characters that you saw all the time, right? DJ, he did get nerfed, but he's not bad, right? He's not garbage or anything like that, right? He's still playable, right? So I've been seeing a lot of people change their mind, right? After the nerfs, people were like, oh, dude, DJ's garbage. I'm dropping him. He's not that bad, okay? He's just not nearly as dominating as he was before, right? I think this is a good spot for DJ. Following DJ, we have Chun-Li, right? Is it me or is Chun really boring in this game? I say that with the utmost respect. That's Mrs. Street Fighter right there, right? I love me some Chun-Li. But yeah, she's always been like a bottom A tier, maybe top of B tier character, right? I don't think she's ever been top 5 in this game. And this game's almost 2 years old, So following Chun-Li, we have Juri, right? Juri, opposite effect, right? She was really cool. She was really interesting. She won that $1 million. But like, we've kind of seen everything that you can really do with Juri, right? So I think she's one of those characters that would really benefit from a 2.0, like a Super Street Fighter 6 update, right? Because a lot of people say that she's boring now, So I don't know, Juri. I don't know. Following Juri, we have JP. John Paul. Okay, JP, he is smack dab in the middle of A tier. JP's interesting. I mentioned this earlier. JP, Luke, DJ, and Ken were running the streets. Okay? During that first season, I used to hate fighting JP. Dude, I still kind of hate fighting JP. But like, during that first season, everyone else was playing Street Fighter 6. JP was playing like Mortal Kombat or something. I hated JP. He's not nearly as good as he was before. I think this is a good spot for him. JP. I don't even want to talk about this dude anymore. After JP, we got Guile. Right? Guile has always been a good character in this game. You know what? A couple months ago, I had him a little higher. But then I really thought about it. Right? The characters that I have above Guile are just better than him. Right? And that's all this really boils down to. He's still really good. Right? It's just that the other characters are better. Right? Now, this is where I'm going to get controversial. After Guile, I have Zangief. And I know there's a sea of Zangief fans right now. They're angry at me. They're trying to SPD me through the screen. I already know. Dude, Zangief is so good, dude. What are we doing? Stop the downplay, guys. Come on. It's okay. Dude. He can be good. Right? Dude, a lot of Zangief fans, they're like, oh, dude, our character could never be good. People hate it when our character's good. So the problem with Zangief right now is that all of his buttons are really strong, right? I'm not even talking about like SPDs or, command grabs or anything. He just got strong buttons, right? Dude, Minna RD, the guy that plays Blanca, not no more, dude. He's playing Zangief, right? And people are like, oh, dude, come on, dude. No one's playing Zangief in tournament. Minna RD is, dude. Come on. It's okay. It's okay, guys. Your character is good. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that, dude. So, Zangief was the character that I was alluding to when I was talking about Dhalsim and Marisa, right? Zangief's whole game plan is that he's this really slow, really big target that marches across the screen, and then once he gets in, he hits you with the SPD, right? And then that's where all the damage comes from, right? And then you have to repeat the process. You want that one really big hit. But when you're buffing all these other components, about the character, you kind of lose that, right? So now Zangief is he's just a bear, right? He's just mauling you. They're barely even doing command grabs, right? So, listen, don't be mad at me, okay? Zangief is top of A tier. He was the number 1 character in A tier, but Cammy exists, right? And Cammy's also really good. Listen, man, Cammy has to do a little bit more work than Zangief, in my opinion. I think Zangief belongs in front of Cammy, honestly, but listen, I don't want to draw the ire of the Gief fans, okay? So we'll put Cammy at the top of A tier. So now we're in the top 5 territory, right? These are the top 5 best characters in the game. The first character in the top 5, the S tier, is Kin Masters, right? So Kin is our first character in S tier, the top 5. And there is another Shoto that is better than him, okay? But Kin, don't get me wrong, he's really good. He's really versatile as a character. But playing Kin gives you a superpower. You get this special ability when you play Kin, right? It's the ability to downplay your character and have people believe you. That is the superpower of playing Kin, right? Because Kin players, they were like, oh dude, Kin is the worst Shoto. And we believe them. Somehow they made it all this far with no nerfs, right? He's still top 5, right? Poor Ryu and Luke, they took the hit. They're down in B tier, right? Terry came out. People were like, oh dude, Kin's the worst Shoto. Look at poor Terry, right? So Kin has bullied his way to the top. He's just really good, right? He's always been good. I think Kin belongs there, honestly. As much as I'm talking about Kin players right now, I think he deserves it, okay? So after Kin, I have my 2 favorite characters in the game. Ed and Rashid, okay? So these 2, you can kind of interchange them here. They are top 5, but you have to do a lot of work to really play them correctly, right? And that's what I think is really special about these 2. And I'm not saying that just because they're, 2 of my favorite characters in Street Fighter history, because I really like these 2 characters. Ed is like the tournament character right now, right? I really like the way he plays, right? He's this really interesting mid-range, like footsie character that can harass you from long range, but he can get in and do a lot of damage, right? The Dream combo really saved him, right? Really cool stuff. But the thing about Ed is that, like, he has very clear weaknesses, right? Once someone gets in on you, things just kind of fall apart, right? A lot of Ed players, they're really solid, they're really strong, and then they just explode out of nowhere, right? It's like riding a bike with training wheels, and then one of the wheels just comes off. They just explode and die, right? I don't know what the deal is, but Rashid, very similar situation, right? Rashid, he's a pretty good character, right? My big beef with Rashid, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I like the way Rashid played in Street Fighter V a little bit more, right? He's this parkour dude, right? So the fun of Rashid is traversing the screen, right? So you had all these different ways to traverse the screen, get in, do your mix, do whatever you need to do, and that's how you win, right? He's like a hit and run character. Rashid now is kind of like, he's this, his hit and run stuff isn't where he excels at, right? He's a character with some pretty okay buttons, right? He wants to get in on you, of course. But your whole thing is that you want to survive until you get that level 2 super. Once the level 2 super comes out, the tornado, you control neutral, right? That is your I win condition, the big tornado, right? So you're basically, doing footsies, trying to get in where you can until you get that level 2, right? And the level 2 is why people hate Rashid. It is just, it's so good, right? Like the amount of control, the amount of dominance you have once that level 2 comes out is truly fascinating, right? So the reason why I have Rashid and Ed towards the back of the top 5 is because they actually, they take some skill to use, Like, it's not, everyone's not playing Rashid and Ed, There's a lot of Eds right now, but, they're not winning tournament, on tournament, Same thing with Rashid. He's really good, but there's not a lot of Rashid players because he's kind of difficult to use, you know? So our last characters, our last 2 characters in top 5 are M. Bison and Akuma, right? To the surprise of no one. Of course, these are our last 2 characters. An argument could be made for Bison. Bison is the easiest to play character in the game, right? Your win condition is putting the Psycho Mine on someone and then hitting them with an EX Psycho Crusher. The amount of damage that comes from that, the amount of opportunity that you get from that setup right there, dude, that's like Marisa level damage. I think Bison, if I'm not mistaken, his strongest combo does more damage than Marisa. If I'm not mistaken, I don't do. Listen, man, Marisa has fallen off a cliff lately, so hey, you know. But the thing about Bison is that he has a very obvious weakness, right? And it's been like this forever, right? This has always been Bison's weakness. When Bison gets going and he's smacking you and doing what he needs to do, this dude, he has all this momentum. He's like a train. It's really hard to stop him when he gets going, right? The issue with Bison is that he's really volatile, right? You jump in on him, you beat the crap out of him, and that's it. That's honestly all there is to it. You outduel him, essentially. Akuma is another character that he has all the tools, right? In my opinion, this might be the most dominant Akuma has ever been. He's really strong in this game, right? But he has the same weaknesses that Akuma has always had, just like Bison. Akuma has low health, right? When things go in your favor against Akuma, he just kind of explodes, right? Things just kind of go in your favor, right? There is a chance that, you know, Akuma can make a comeback always, right? He has so many tools. He has so many just strong options. He probably does the most damage in the corner. Well, not the most, but he does a lot of damage in the corner, you know? But, like, you know, once you get that upper hand on Akuma, you kind of just execute him when you need to, right? But those are my top 5 characters in the game. I do feel pretty confident about that. I really do. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think the strongest character in the game is? What do you guys think about my tier list? Do you guys think that I'm an insane person? Well, I am an insane person. But do you guys think I'm more insane than usual with this tier list? Let me know in the comment section below. I am curious. And yeah, guys, that's the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!